So I've got this huge table desk that we nearly sold a number of times because we were really pretty sure we wouldn't be able to find a spot to use it. It's 115 inches long, which is just a pretty long span. It was a custom built table from room and board that my mom had in her last place, and she can't fit it in her new house, and we didn't have a spot for it. And then we realized that it's almost the exact width of our garage, which is really exciting. But it has this sort of, it's called the shell stain. It's sort of a grayed out, whitewashy, weathered look that room and board does. And it feels a little dated to me. And it's also damaged around the edges a little bit. So I'm gonna sand it down and try a couple of stains and see if we can't get it to look better. It's maple underneath, which is apparently a very hard wood to stain. The grain is really finely packed and doesn't take stain all that readily. So this will be, you know, one of those ones where it's like, I hope it goes well. The first step is just to sand it down with a kind of a rougher grit. What I have on hand is 80 and 150. I think the 80 is a little aggressive for a tabletop, so I'm gonna just do the 150 and then I'll switch over to a 220. So JK, it's gonna take me like an hour or more to sand this if I use the 150, so I'm gonna try the 80, which might be too rough, and if that's the case, I'll have to just go to the store and get 120. So I went over it with 150, and I'm gonna go over it again with 220. And then I'm gonna wipe it down really well with lint-free, like a microfiber cloth, and then I'm gonna condition it. So I just coated with this conditioner. I put it on with a brush. After about 5 minutes, I wiped it down to remove any excess, and then I'm gonna give it one light sand with 220 again in about 15 minutes. I'm gonna let it dry for about 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna test my stains. This is an oil-based stain, so we can let it penetrate for a minute and then wipe the excess off, and then kind of give it a think. I might just, we're not gonna do this little blondie section. There's no way. We'll just get it in there. Get this in there while we're wet. So now it's just about, do we like this stain or do we need to go back for another stain? All right, I think we'll check with my husband whose desk this will be and see if we're good to go. The table's done. It was way more involved, laborious than I was expecting, mostly just in terms of elbow grease. The project was very simple actually, but just took a lot of brute strength. But it's great, I love it. I'm so relieved because
We had really grown to dislike the table, I think, because of this stain, and I didn't realize how much better it would look just with the top redone. You can use this approach, same approach, with any table, but if I were to do this particular table again, knowing how industrial strength the finish was on it, I would probably have started with a stripper, a paint stripper, just to try and get some of the outer goop off before I went in to sand it. I think that would have helped me avoid some of the little bit of like gouging that I ended up doing by using so much force with the 80 grit. Other things I would do differently, I would invest in some height adjustable sawhorses, because leaning over and really bearing down on the table as I was sanding for, I think it was a couple of hours, just wrecked my back and neck, and I was pretty sore for a few days. And then I had a shoot, and that compounded things, and then it was like my body was just so miserable for about a week. Any other changes that I would recommend? No. I love the stain, I love the finish. It's a satin finish and it looks really neutral and great. The table's super smooth and I think it will be durable. I don't know, I love it. So go for it. I'm probably gonna do a couple more tables now that I've done this one, which I know don't have such a intense finish on them, and so I will go ahead and sand them. Maybe I'll do a video. I don't know. If anyone's watching and you want to see it, let me know. I'm happy to show it. This will be installed properly with things upon it as part of the room reveal for this garage office, and I will be putting that video together shortly, and I'm really excited to show you all how the whole room looks. See you next time. Bye. Thank you.